Welcome back to another issue. I'm Beastie Boy,
I'm Table.
I'm Psycho Red.
And it is I, Shino Brando.
and for today we unlock our Ranger form and rank every Power Ranger series.
So, Red, what are we doing today?
We do a fun creative one, and we just go to Tier Maker, and we just go through every single series. We'll chat about every series and what you remember and what we haven't watched, and we'll just chat through and rank them all.
This is a fun one because we have our group is a fun age group of all sorts. So we have someone who goes all the way back to someone who could really relate to something all new right now. So this is gonna be
Some
fun.
of us know a lot about the Ranger forms, and some of us absolutely do not.
It's kind of crazy because I remember this when I was 10, and it's like it's still TV. It's still on TV now. So like that's testament to how popular it remains, right? So this is gonna be fun.
You
So
cannot
let's
escape.
start at the beginning. Let's go right into Mighty Morphin, the one that kicked off it all. Based on the Sentai footage of Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger, this featured like the green with evil, the transition into white, Jason David Frank's official income source,
The forever income source.
right? Where do we think that one
Doesn't
should
go
go?
away.
I remember this when I was 10. This is what started it for me. Enamored by the Black Ranger because, like, icons, right? Um, that one, every kid loved this thing. You were in the schoolyard playing this. You had toys. You were begging your mom and dad to buy you the friggin' Morpher, the gun, the flute, and everything you can get your hands on. Um, I dig into this because you know more about this stuff. I remember just watching this. You know more of a study on it. So like, give me some info. What was Mighty Morphin all about?
So this was obviously the first one. So a little backstory on bringing Zyuranger into Power Rangers in the first place. This
Yeah.
was actually the idea of the combining Megazord in Sentai to begin with was taken from Lepardon, which
Okay.
is from the Japanese Spider-Man.
Oh yes.
So Stan Lee officially is the reason we have Power Rangers here in the West. Lepardon was a big mech that Spider-Man had
Supai-
and could call
Batman.
upon.
Yeah.
And that's when Sentai took the idea, and then Haim Saban looked at that and was like, I think I can sell that in the West. And then he did.
Mhm.
So
I do have to ask, though, when was the last time you guys tried to watch Mighty Morphin?
Honestly, I caught some on Netflix a couple of months back. It's so funny to watch now.
It's a little rough to go back and watch these.
it's
Yeah.
more than a little rough. What I would, if anybody is actually looking to go and watch Mighty Morphin,
Don't.
I forget what series it was, but they took a little bit of a break and they
Yeah.
recut and restructured Mighty Morphin, and I believe it's widescreen then.
So why do we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Kai? Why did they do the cut? This new cut.
It's based on just what the word Kai means, and Haim
Mm.
Saban didn't want to do that. So it was just sort of an interim season, but it doesn't
Okay.
count because it's the same series twice. That's why it's not here. And for this ranking system, we're going to rank Samurai, Super Samurai together, Megaforce, Super Megaforce together, and Dino Charge and Super Dino Charge all together. Oh, and Ninja Steel and Super Ninja Steel.
It was always just
Yeah.
making a different, like, a slightly different arc with the same cast, and you're like, okay, I guess, but you really
Using
could have done this under
different
the
Sentai
same name.
footage.
Look, Mighty Morphin was pioneering, and it was great, but it is too difficult to watch to rank S. You know,
It's
sure.
aged. It's aged.
For sure.
You know.
I am going to plant my flag and say it's B tier.
B
You
tier.
know what?
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it A tier because that's the kicker for me. That's the one that birthed the love for the franchise. And you brought it all up, right? Green Ranger to White. This one had it all. The destruction of the command center. You know what I mean? They lost their morphers. They had to get the new morphers and all that.
Plot
Like
continued
everything was a
until
big
one of
first.
the other ones that we continue down.
Sorry.
Its plot versus Rita Repulsa and Lord
Yeah,
Zed
yeah.
continues
Yeah.
on until we hit Lost Galaxy,
It does.
like
hereby
it's
dubbed the Zordon era.
Mighty Morphin's important, but it really is just not watchable anymore. And I think, you're kind of letting yourself get rose tinted glasses about this because nostalgia, and like you're
I'm-
allowed to do that, but
Yeah.
it's just
I
decent.
can split the difference and live at A tier, but it's definitely not S.
It's not S. No.
Okay,
It's not S because even then, like, it was the first one, so like they didn't really know what they had going on. It was feeling itself as it went along until they really knew what it was. And you really see the difference as Zeo starts and Turbo. It just becomes something different. So it won't be S tier. It's A tier for sure because of all the firsts ever done. I can leave it at that.
And it has been so milked throughout the last 20-ish years that it's been around.
Yeah.
So much so that Bandai's currently milking.
I mean, they have a comic based on them currently.
Well, yeah.
Like it stands.
So A tier it is. Let's jump to Zeo now. So
Okay.
Zeo is based on Horiki Sentai Orange.
Mhm.
This one featured the first Metallic Ranger in the Gold Ranger. They released a just absolutely awesome staff, like the Legacy Collection, and it plays the theme song. Oh, this was the last season that brought on Billy. We lost Teeny Trang. Pardon my... Listen, I don't speak Japanese. I don't claim to. I'm going to butcher all these Japanese words, and I'm going to put that right here on Friendster.
So,
You're doing your best.
So where do we think Zeo should go?
Let's see. What memories do we get from Zeo? I remember them becoming it after the season transitioned from Morphin to Zeo. After the destruction, it got Command Center 2. I hold this one close to me because they did the same. The Sixth Ranger came back. Jason was a nice twist of having on.
What I think is one of the best cliffhangers in all of Power Rangers. Trev Triforia, which is the initial Gold Ranger. He is of 3, get it? Triforia, haha. He can't hold the Gold Ranger staff and hold on to the power because it can't be in 3 places at once. So then we get the disillusion that Tommy's brother, alright for that actor.
His actual brother.
But we got that, and then through some, magic and actually probably paying him what they should have been, we got the return of the original Red Ranger, and he would continue taking on the Gold Ranger, title.
Mantle. We
And would
can
be
use
the
that word
Gold
here.
Ranger until series, or until they ran out of Sentai footage, or whatever happened first.
Until they ran out of Sentai footage. That's the correct term.
Well, I was going to argue that wherever we put Mighty Morphin, Zeo got to be ahead of it because Zeo was just Mighty Morphin, but less hard to look at.
I find Zeo more watchable than I do Mighty Morphin because the writing was just a hair better.
It grew. Yep, it grew.
But not much. So we can put it after Mighty Morphin, but still in A tier.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I for myself, I don't think I saw Zeo. I saw the suits, but I don't think I remembered the series itself.
I had the villains. The Machine Empire was a cool idea. It was nice to see a change of villains as well as things progressed, right? And when it came down to the final moments of that series, shit got pretty friggin' dark, man. Shit got really dark, and I'll never forget it. The battle scene with their Zords and the final machine monster, whatever they had, the entire backdrop was dark. The city was totally destroyed. It was like a Godzilla film, man. It was completely different from any other battle I've seen on Power Rangers before, so it was a nice little twist on it.
Yeah.
And that takes us to the controversial season of Turbo, the one that almost killed the actual franchise at this point in time. So the Sentai that this one is taken off of is Gekisu Sentai Car Ranger. To turn into Rangers, they shift into Turbo.
Cool.
I'm okay, you get that. You get to have that. Little lame now.
Little lame.
A little-ish.
This was I believe this was the season where we officially lost all of our initial Mighty cast. I believe this is where Jason David Frank officially left the series. He was Red Turbo Ranger there for a while, and then he passed the mantle off. Yeah.
But we did see him again.
It wouldn't be the last.
No, it would not. This brought on the actual 11-year-old child who was, let's face it, was the cause of the decline of the series for a little while.
I'm gonna go
out. Make this 11-year-old kid the person stand-in, the viewer stand-in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that didn't work because people had been watching Mighty Morphin and Zeo, so unfortunately Turbo carries a weird legacy standing in both shadows.
Turbo, for me, goes into Rita's dumpster. I hate this series. In Japan, it's even hated as well. It's not very good. The only cool thing I liked about there was their helmets. Everything else is kind of just it was a bad show. That kid, I can't remember his name for the life of me, but didn't like that connection, didn't like the idea, didn't like the villains. It was kind of just
too
bad.
Much in the LS2 shadow. I don't think it's completely dumpster trash, but for sure in C tier.
I'll put it in C tier if anything, because I think more or less the movie, because I remember having
the movie, everything about that I just never liked. So
I think let's put it in a C tier.
My issue with Turbo is just that I was never into cars and stuff the way that, all y'all boys were. So I just went, don't care about high-speed chases.
But you see, Table, I'm a guy, and I like cars, yes, but like I like giant mecha more, and so cars just never did anything for me on this
It's a
show. It just
downgrade.
sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucked.
Then there's me, Beastie, who just was straight anime, so I was like, ooh, cartoons.
Like when you have giant monsters rampaging, the last thing I want to see is cars chasing it. Give me a giant robot. That's what I want. And then they have to do
Yeah.
that. But like besides the combination, you're just driving, and that's stupid.
And kids can't drive. Kids
Kids
can't drive.
cannot drive.
But
Right?
you know
They
what?
let
This
an
one could.
11-year-old child drive a car.
Very
and then
dangerous.
Operate part of the map.
Like
With the great power of the Mighty Morphin Rangers, I'm joking.
you see what I
Anyways.
mean by dumpster? Like the whole idea was just bad.
You know, I think you've convinced me. It dumpster trash. Dumpster trash. Right into Rita's dumpster. Throw it back in the moon.
that
Yeah.
is
It wasn't good.
it
No, it
wasn't
stands too much
good.
in the other, and it's too much.
Mhm.
It's too much of a takeaway. Now,
Like
now
everything
that-
was bad. The villain was horrible. Like what was her name? Diva Talks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing was just not good, not memorable, except for that kid and the whole travesty of it existing.
And he turned into
Ugh.
adult because they used the Sentai footage.
Why couldn't you just get an adult act? Anyways, you know what? Never
Moving
mind.
on, we're going to In Space next. Going to space.
Yes.
So this one is based off a Denji Sentai Mega Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
This is famous for having the infamous crossover episode with Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, and famously the creation of one Psycho Red, and all of the Psycho Rangers, in fact.
So I'm guessing you're about to make a strong case for this in whatever direction.
No, honestly, like, it's a fine season. I don't have any problem with it. I think the pushing the buttons on the morphing is a little ridiculous because it doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything per se. Because in the Sentai, when they push 3, 3, 5, and then they hit the button, it means something. But in space,
Right,
it's
right.
nothing.
Oh, you're gonna have some issues with some later stuff then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're getting there.
Like I didn't mind In Space. It was a nice change. I don't know. I like the helmets. The helmets were cool. The rainbow across the chest is like for me it was a bit like off for me
I
with
find it
them
very
all together on
interesting because
screen.
It shows like the other colors of the Rangers. So like if only red
Yeah,
was on
and for
screen,
me,
we're
when-
like, oh yeah, there's
what-
this many
yeah.
colors.
When they're all together, it looked pretty neat. Their helmets, they went the light up part at the top there, top dome part, whatever. And that was a cool concept too. I don't know, like there's not too many things I can remember of In Space. I
It's
did
just
like the-
forgettable.
Yeah, it is. For me, it is. I only remember the Phantom Ranger and like them destroying Zordon to save everything at the very end. And that's pretty much
Yeah,
it.
this season marks the end of the initial Saban era and the Zordon era. At the very end, Zordon are man in a tube and has been for the last couple seasons. They have to destroy him to purge all the evil in the universe at that point.
Wow.
And then
And
it
then
literally
Andros
makes all the
begs
bad
not to
guys
do
good
it.
just by killing him. It was like, could we have done that the whole time?
From season 1, man.
Yeah. Oh man.
Sometimes the solution is right in your face, and sometimes the
Right in your
solution is in space.
Oh,
Sometimes
geez.
the
Modern
solution is
problems
in a
deserve
big
modern
tube.
solutions. Just murder the tube. Murder the big head tube.
We could have done this from the beginning and the world would have been saved. Yes. Yes, exactly.
They had cool villains. Like I had like what was his name? Eclipsor?
Yep.
He was like black and green, had a cool ass sword, red eyes. Can't remember his name if that was it though, but I think it is. But he was
That
a
sounds
cool
right, for sure.
design. He was like the Goldar, but like better.
But in space, later on, when we get to Beast Morphers, we get a spoiler for Beast
Mhm.
Morphers. This is Goldar's official last appearance until that season, and I won't tell you when.
Really now.
Goldar reappears.
Wow. They're like, what can we bring back? Gold.
But you know what though? Goldar was cool as fucking design. He was cool as shit, man. Like
Too
he
bad he
scary
goes good at
looking.
the end of this, so it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, him.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Goldar, man. Yeah.
Frick. Yeah, no, actually, his design was actually one of the interesting ones.
Yeah.
The
He was
guy
cool,
made
man.
out of gold in the 2017 movie. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna call B tier.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
I'm
decent.
agreeing with you. Yeah. I agree with you on that one.
It was fine.
For the
there
romp
anything
it was
great
and
about
what
it?
it
Certainly
what it led to.
Right?
Again, because like the memory's burned in, like it's burned there. So like it holds a place. For me too, in that age bracket, it kind of signifies the end of when I stopped kind of watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was
Yep.
the end of the Zordon era.
Now we go
So
into
so it's
the
kind of
post Zordon era with Lost
Yeah.
Galaxy, based on the Seiju Sentai Gingaman, which is just awesome to say. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know about this one. Honestly, like
Me.
the only thing I liked about it was they all had swords.
Yes.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm already questioning these suits though.
Suits were questionable.
I've got some strong arguments for you guys, but we'll get there.
Oh no, yeah, okay, cool. Are you a fan?
This is the one I watched most recently.
Okay.
Like, this is the one my roommate and I have been binging, and then we got distracted by Phineas and Ferb. But
Jeez.
we're nearly done that, so we can go back soon.
Right on.
But this one, like, there's a lot of questionable stuff going on.
yeah.
They're in a space station ship
Yeah,
thing,
colony,
right,
yeah,
with an
colony.
entire city. And I've got a lot of questions about like the damage that gets done every time something horrible gets on the ship and messes around with their big city. How do you repair that? You must have limited resources, don't you?
Mhm.
But their organization is called the GSA, and there is literally an episode where the focus is on recovering the trans daggers. And I think for this it deserves points.
Because Power Rangers says trans rights.
Power Rangers said trans rights, whether they meant to or not.
They did it.
Jesus.
They officially did it.
They're the most inclusive team always. They have been rainbow colored for life.
It's true. So while I think it probably deserves to sit in the C rank, I feel like these kind of things elevate it to B, but only just.
With it being in B rank, are you saying it's better than In Space or worse than In Space?
A little bit worse than In Space, probably.
I'll go
Yeah,
with that.
me too. I don't remember anything about it. My brother watched this, but I don't remember anything about it.
It's got
it's
swords.
honestly-
That's the main one.
They said
It does,
trans
but the
rights.
Zords are like kind of alive and aliens, and also sometimes turn into these really upsetting looking puppets.
Oh, okay. Well,
Sure.
Nope, pass. Nope.
That's
So then we go to Lightspeed Rescue, based
Yeah.
on QQ Sentai Go-Go 5.
Yeah.
This is the last season that I watched live, and then I took a
Mhm.
hard pause for a couple seasons. This is the first season with the American OC, the Titanium Ranger. So it
Okay.
gets lots of points for it being the first one to create its own character.
Well, I think I remember a little bit of this one too. Just looking from the cast, like
Really, I didn't know any of that. No, my brother watched this one too. This is the one that I turned away from, even if he was watching it or not, because like they just look terrible.
Their helmets are so stupid.
Yeah,
The
they're
whole
mega stupid,
costume
but,
is
like,
terrible.
I think this is probably the second most iconic theme song. I probably could sing it, but then we get copyright strikes, so I'm not going to. Because it's
Don't
not,
wanna do that.
because I'm such a great singer or something. Well, they'll find it.
But,
I
you know,
am-
Lost Galaxy's theme song was better, so
I'm super fond of Zio just because of that intro they have.
Right?
Fair.
The intro makes the series, honestly.
Yeah, that choir singing intro before it rips into that hard rock theme was, I don't know, I like that one the most.
Right? So for creating an OC, I think that Lightspeed Rescue should land in B tier.
I will agree.
but can we put it before Lost Galaxy?
Well, that's the thing. That was my next question. Is it
Okay, yeah.
better
'Cause-
than In Space or worse than In Space?
It's worse than Lost
Worse than
Galaxy,
anything.
man. The costume's terrible looking.
honestly,
They really
from
did
what I
work
remember
with that.
though, from like the series wise, because like the small little bit from watching
Yeah.
like Red said about watching it in live.
Yeah,
I remember at least the decency of the story and like obviously like the original character was at least pretty good. So like it wasn't like better than Space, but like it still was holding the bar to be unique at least.
yeah.
But still better than Lost Galaxy. So
It's for me it's worse than Lost Galaxy because like nothing of it is very memorable for me. Nothing looks appealing. Nothing. The Zords, costumes don't. Like a costume and a Zord should make like when you see something cool looking like a costume or a fucking mecha, you're like the shit looks cool, right? These just were like the opposite of that, and it's too bad.
well, of course, like the helmets were still like the most questionable things, let alone the costume. It just
They have a giant target on their chest. It's like it's just shoot here.
And also,
Please.
this is the
And
start of
Darpain.
them being kind of cops.
The
Like-
entry into copdom.
Like, I think one of the characters is a firefighter,
Yeah,
and I'm like, and they're almost a police force, but not quite.
They're a
The reason I
rescue
kind of like
force,
the series
yeah.
is the captain, whose
Mhm.
name I completely forget because I didn't write it down, is probably the best character on the show and actually goes through a whole bunch of character development. Whereas, say, like Alpha 5 or Alpha 6 for Zero, they just
Yeah.
get zero character development. They just go I, and then they just move on.
I think his
That's all
name
they're
was
there for.
Carter Grayson.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying for name wise of the characters of the captain. I think.
Yeah.
okay.
That's one of the best mentors, and I will get to later who I think is the best one. Hint, it's not Jason David Frank.
Stop.
Damn.
I think that takes us to Time Force now.
Time
Okay.
Force.
Time
Now,
Force.
yeah. Refresh
This-
my memory on this one,
So
please.
this one is based on the Mirai Sentai Time Ranger. So in this series, there was a ranger called the Quantum Ranger, and that is
Okay.
the Red Ranger with the spiky looking helmet. So it gets points for having 2 Red Rangers. Points. However, the Quantum Ranger had a bad case of the Jason Todds.
Oh, really now?
Yeah, so they shot both in the finale, so spoilers for the finale of a series that's been out for, I think it released in 2000, so a 20-year-old
Yeah,
series.
Time Force is a 2001.
No, 19
19-year-old
years.
series, my bad. So they shot both a Quantum Ranger lives scene for the
Mhm.
finale and a death scene, and they didn't know which one kids would like resonate most with.
Okay.
So they just aired the live scene. But the death scene still exists and is still on film somewhere.
Really now?
A bad case of the Jason Todds.
Damn.
We
That's
hate to do it to them.
I'm looking what they look like now. I don't remember even watching this or even seeing it. They like they're I don't know. Their bikes are cool.
The bikes
This
are
is
cool.
one I think I've
the
seen a little
the
bit.
morphers have compared to the series we've already ranked. I think their
Mhm.
morphers are because they're using actual time energy to turn into part of their force. So it's not a
Okay.
police force because police, but they are a unit of control in some way. And so it's not we're Power Rangers. This is just our suit, and they're using time
okay.
energy to transform into it.
Quantum
Fake
Era.
Rangers.
I'm seeing
Also,
a Pink Ranger leading the team. Sheer madness.
closer to cops again, which is bad.
Close to cops, yes,
True.
but not cops.
Time-
And even more forgettable than in space.
I have no idea what this. I've never seen this before. I didn't even know this was a thing.
This would still be about the time for me to like remember at least a bit of this. So this is like still in the prime of like the Power Ranger series that I was like, ooh, this is on Saturday. Cool.
But
I
they've got
don't
colored
know.
visors for some reason.
Wait, was this the one they had like a dog that was like an anthropomorphic dog that talked to them or something? Or am I confusing?
I-
am I confusing series now?
SPD.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that was the later series.
Okay, because they kind of remind me of
That's
that,
the
but I
Shadow
guess
Ranger.
no.
That's, His
Okay.
real name is Doggy Kruger,
I don't like that.
and in the
Really
comics
not a
he's
fan.
got a brother. But we'll get there.
Oh god.
Look, I
Alright.
just think that Time Force is lame enough and has too few redeeming qualities to get it out of C rank.
I am with Table. I'm putting it into C rank. All kinds.
I'm okay with C rank. Yeah,
I'm okay with
that's-
C rank. Listen, as long as we all agree it's not dumpster,
No.
it's not better
I-
than in space. I think I can live with C rank.
I
It's not
can't.
horrifying. It's just not
No.
good.
I can't put it in dumpster because I've never seen it, so I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I think it can suffice in C rank where it belongs as it is.
Okay.
It doesn't deserve to be sitting beside Turbo yet. Like, let him know the
Just take
suits.
mediocre.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Like
the
if
next
B
one
is
we
stuff
have-
that you could go, yeah, watchable. C is like, I guess.
Yeah, maybe just watch a video on it or something. Find a YouTube video that, explains the series or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So now we have Wild Force,
Yeah.
Force was actually good.
right? This one is based off Hyakuju Sentai Gao Ranger. This is
Okay.
the 10th anniversary series. We get a Jason David Frank cameo in this series. And
Ho
it features the amazing, unforgettable crossover episode called Forever Red,
Yes, I remember.
to which all
This
Red Rangers
happening.
from the
I
previous
was
series,
I was home on weekends to see this.
all Red Rangers from previous series all showed up and all defeated an evil. People have been asking for a sequel to this since this aired.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
got such a legacy, people want more of it. I might start to argue that it's A tier.
Okay,
Let it be A tier.
I'm gonna go with you. This is one I didn't watch this either. I've only seen the Forever Red crossover because that was the big talk at the time.
Of course,
Mhm.
it is.
But I've
It's big
I've
talk
never
now.
ever watched this. It still is big talk, all kinds. I've never really watched this here, so but I don't know anything about it. So I'm going with you on this one here.
Yeah, when
So
it
you're
comes to
saying Wild Force is
crossovers,
eighth?
We can rank those a different day, but
Okay.
this is the one that people want. This is the blueprint for having the most live action returning characters on screen. Returning
Okay.
actors, anyway.
Mhm.
And most of the Sentai footage they used is actually from the anniversary season that Wild Force takes from Gao Ranger.
Okay.
So I think we're on for A tier.
Eighth tier.
Interesting
okay.
that
Yep.
we're now 10 in and nothing has hit S tier.
S tier. You're right.
Don't worry. We know who's
You're right.
next.
So this would Wild
Wait.
Force would be after Zeo, correct?
Yeah.
Or is that where? Yeah. Okay. Just want to make
Yeah.
sure.
Because I
Better
think
than Mighty Morphin.
if you think it's better than Mighty Morphin, it should go before Mighty Morphin.
Yeah, before Mighty Morphin, after Zeo.
Okay. You gotta
Wait.
got a reason?
Wait. So then,
Well, because it's just as influential is Mighty Morphin, arguably, but it's definitely infinitely more watchable. But also, like, Zio has a little bit more nostalgia power going for it, I would say.
Okay, I remember it. Wild Force, I again never watched it, but they look cool as shit. I'll give them that.
Mm-hmm. Their morphing sequences were pretty unique too. From
Yeah, this is the
what I
first
was
time
watching.
instead of just like pushing the button on the morpher actually like did something to them and forced them to morph, or well, not forced, but like encouraged the morphing.
Okay.
As opposed to like Mighty Morphin or Zio, where it's just they hit the button or hit the two parts together and then it does the morphing.
Right.
Yeah, like the animation or VFX, I should say, got really unique in Wild Force, and it was just like you'd see like, oh, okay, this is the beast form, or yeah, I think it was like the animals, whatever they were forming into, and then the suits came on. It was unique as hell, and I was like, whew, this is nice.
Okay. They
Here we
look
go.
cool. They look cool.
The Disney era
Oh, okay.
with Ninja Storm.
Where you can catch us is on our Twitter as at Crusade Nerd. Instagram is Nerd Crusade, and we upload every Wednesday to YouTube. And you can also download any previous episodes or listen on your mobile device to Anchor.fm website or whatever podcasts are found by searching Nerd Crusade. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this issue, go ahead and button mash the thumbs up. If you want to swing by when we have a new video, web up the subscribe button on YouTube or anywhere you can to listen to our podcast. And to be updated to know when a new issue is out, hit the bell to be notified by